Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Zayd, and today we're exploring a modern comfort that many of us take for granted: air conditioning. Think about it. You walk into a building on a hot summer day and a cool breeze greets you. Feels normal, right? But have you ever stopped to wonder, who came up with this idea? How did we get from sweating in the sun to enjoying perfectly chilled air indoors? Air conditioning, or AC, is more than just a luxury. It changed how we work, how we live, and even where people could survive. Before modern AC, cooling off meant shade, open windows, or handheld fans. But for centuries, humans have been trying clever ways to beat the heat. Let's go back to ancient Egypt. Over 3,000 years ago, people used wet reed mats, hanging over doors and windows. When wind passed through the wet reeds, it cooled the air, a basic evaporative cooling system. It wasn't exactly cold air, but it was a start. The ancient Persians took things further. They invented windcatchers, also known as badgirs. These were tall, chimney-like towers, built into homes and palaces. They caught cooler air from above and directed it down into the building. Some of these structures were even connected to underground water tunnels called aqueducts, which helped cool the air more as it passed over the cold water. In ancient China, around 180 AD, an engineer named Ding Huan invented a giant rotary fan that could be manually cranked. It had 7 wheels and was used in imperial palaces to circulate air. Some say it's one of the earliest known mechanical fans. And don't forget the Romans. In the hottest parts of the empire, wealthy Romans used aqueducts to circulate cool water through walls and floors. This was a kind of primitive cooling system that worked surprisingly well, especially in large bathhouses. These ancient systems weren't air conditioners as we know them today, but they show that humans have always searched for ways to cool their surroundings. Before we move to our today, I want to say that this channel is user-friendly. No offensive content, no misinformation. We explain things with respect, curiosity, and authenticity. Fast forward to the 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution brought huge changes. Factories were booming, but high indoor temperatures were making workers miserable. That discomfort pushed inventors to experiment with cooling machines. In 1830, a Florida physician named Dr. John Gorrie was treating patients with malaria and yellow fever. He believed that heat worsened illnesses. To cool hospital rooms, he suspended ice blocks from ceilings and used fans to circulate the cold air. But ice was hard to get in the South, so Dr. Gorrie went further. He designed a machine that could make ice using compression and expansion of gases. He patented his idea in 1851, making him the father of mechanical refrigeration. Unfortunately, his idea didn't take off commercially. His funding fell apart, and the medical world didn't support his theory. He died in poverty, but his invention paved the way for refrigeration and later air conditioning. In the 1880s and 1890s, many inventors explored refrigeration-based cooling, mainly for industrial or food storage purposes. But there was still no device to cool and dehumidify air in a room for comfort. That changed in 1902, when a young engineer named Willis Carrier came up with something revolutionary. Working for a publishing company in Brooklyn, New York, Carrier was asked to fix a humidity issue affecting the printing process. Too much moisture was causing ink to smear and paper to expand. So Carrier built a machine that blew air over cold coils, removing moisture and lowering air temperature. He wasn't trying to cool people. He just wanted to control humidity. But this machine became the first modern air conditioner. It was installed at the Sackett Wilhelm's Lithographing and Publishing Company, and it worked perfectly. Soon, other industries noticed. Factories, tobacco plants, textile mills, and movie film production started using Carrier's invention. In 1915, Carrier and a group of engineers founded the Carrier Engineering Corporation, and began commercializing air conditioning for a wide range of applications. Back then, these systems were huge, expensive and limited to industrial use. Homes, stores and offices were still stuck with fans or open windows, but the foundation was set. The idea of air conditioning was now a real working technology, and people were paying attention. In the 1920s, air conditioning slowly moved from factories into public spaces. Theaters were among the first to adopt it. Movie houses like the Rivoli Theater in New York City began installing cooling systems to draw in summer crowds. These early theater units were large and placed in basements. They used fans, refrigeration coils, and duct systems to cool air and push it through the seating area. It wasn't always comfortable, but it was cooler than the sweltering streets. By the 1930s, department stores and office buildings joined in. They used centralized cooling systems developed by companies like Carrier, Frigidaire, and General Electric. But air conditioning was still a luxury, too large and costly for homes. Most people relied on ceiling fans or swamp coolers, especially in dry climates. Things began to change with the rise of window air conditioning units. In 1931, inventors H. Schultz and J.Q. Sherman designed the first room-sized AC unit that could fit into a window frame. They sold for $10,000 to $50,000 in today's money, a price only the wealthy could afford. During World War II, production of AC units slowed due to military focus and material shortages. But the post-war boom in the 1950s brought explosive growth in home air conditioning. Prices dropped, production increased, and suburbs across America started filling with houses equipped with small AC units. The U.S. Sunbelt, a region stretching across the South and Southwest, began to grow rapidly. Why? Because air conditioning made it livable year-round. Cities like Phoenix, Houston, and Las Vegas saw population surges. Entire industries relocated because comfortable working environments were now possible in hot climates. This era transformed not just comfort, but architecture. Buildings no longer relied on high ceilings, wide porches, or cross-ventilation. Instead, designers created sealed, boxy buildings optimized for mechanical cooling. Air conditioning also entered schools, hospitals, shopping malls, and government offices. People started expecting cool air as a basic right, not a luxury. By the 1970s, over half of all new U.S. homes had some form of air conditioning. It became a standard utility, like electricity or plumbing. But while comfort improved, concerns about energy use and environmental impact started to grow. As air conditioning became common, the world started to depend on it, not just for comfort, but for survival and economic growth. In the Middle East, skyscrapers in places like Dubai and Riyadh rose from desert landscapes because air conditioning made indoor life bearable. Without it, these regions would remain sparsely inhabited or limited to nighttime activity. Hospitals and data centers also rely completely on climate control. Sensitive medical equipment, computer servers, and pharmaceuticals all require stable, cool environments. Without AC, modern technology and medicine would face serious risks. But AC comes with trade-offs. Cooling systems use massive amounts of energy, especially in large buildings. In some regions, air conditioning can account for over 40% of household electricity use during summer months. In developing countries, where middle-class growth is rising, demand for AC is exploding. This raises important questions about climate change, power consumption, and sustainable alternatives. Older AC units used chemicals called CFCs and HCFCs, which damage the ozone layer. But global efforts like the Montreal Protocol helped phase out those harmful refrigerants. Today, most modern ACs use HFCs, which are safer for ozone, but still contribute to global warming. That's why researchers are now exploring more eco-friendly cooling solutions like magnetic refrigeration, solid-state cooling, and solar-powered systems. There's also growing interest in passive cooling, reviving ancient methods like windcatchers and water-based systems to reduce dependency on mechanical AC. So from the wet mats of ancient Egypt to smart, climate-efficient buildings of today, air conditioning has come a long way. It's a symbol of human innovation, comfort and challenge, and it's still evolving. All the information we provide comes from verified historical sources, including books, records, and archaeology. Primary reference materials include Losing Our Cool by Stan Cox, Carrier.com official archives, ASHRAE, American Society of Heating, Refrigerating and Air Conditioning Engineers, National Museum of American History, Scientific American Historical Reviews, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA Ozone Archives. Like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thrones of Knowledge. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified on time. Suggest our next topic in the comment section to help make our journey even better.